Hello friends, welcome to your first Python code. So this is where you will learn basics. We have Visual Studio and Python 3 already installed and set up, and based on that we are going to perform some basic learnings for Python, and we'll learn how exactly you can start your first code in Python. And after that we will go ahead step by step and we will learn many complex scenarios like using functions and classes, methods, etc., and how to perform graphical interface, etc. So to start, let's click on new file and let's create the new Python file. You have to ensure that the Python file extension is .py. So let's name it day1.py. And first thing we have to learn is how to make comments. Python comments are very easy. You can use hash to make a single line comment. So wherever you need comments to be put in the code, you just use hash and you can write your comment. So I'm putting this is my first Python program. So this is one comment you can use, and then if we want to put multi-line comment, then you can use double quotes 3 times, and you can put multi-line comment. All the lines between those 3 times double quote would be treated as comment. Same thing if we use single quote also 3 times, that also turns multi-line messages into a comment. So multi-line code or message, if you want to test it or you don't want to use it, so see, when we run it there are no errors and everything is considered as a comment. So now let's run. First thing which we are going to learn is variables. Okay, so hopefully you know how exactly we are going to put the comments now. And now let's learn the next part, where how to define the variables. To define the variables, we don't need to put any kind of uh, data type which need to be defined in the beginning. So let's say I'm creating variable 1, and we can simply assign the values. So depending on assigning the values, it will automatically turn into a string or it will turn into integer or numeric. So like I have put variable 1 into Mukesh. Now let's try to print the value. So print variable 1 and let's try to run. So you can see that the value Mukesh has been printed. Now let's try to create another variable. So let's change it to first name, and then we will put another variable as second name. So better is last name, so first name and last name, and let's try to print them together, and let's see, can we generate a new name by concatenating first name and last name. Yes, last name, and let's try to run. So you can see first name and last name have been printed together, but we would like to have one space in between. So let's add a quote and there is a space between. So now we can see there is space also added in between. So now we have that. Now let's try the same thing for numbers also. So num1 is 8, and let's to decide num2. So num2 7. Okay, and let's try to concatenate them, number 1 and number 2. Let's try to put same kind of symbols here also, and let's see what kind of results we get. So num1 plus num1 num2, would it be treated as string or would it be treated as number? Okay, so this is treated as number. You can see it has been simply added. So you see the strength of Python, that it automatically understands what kind of data type you have used. So if you use a string or if you use number, both will be automatically considered. And in case we want to change that, so let's say we want to change number 1 or number 2. So any number variable also we can uh, cast it to a string, and then we can utilize as a string. So we can override that or we can cast that also. So you can see when we have added a string, then now it is adding as a string, and 8 and 7 became 87 instead of 15. So this is how we can concatenate the string. So now we have learned comments, single line comment, multi-line comment, defining variables, and performing concatenation operation. Now let's take input from the user. So if you want to take any input from the user, you have to use input function, and you have to simply put up a message, and then if you run it, you will be able to take the input. So let me put some kind of name. So okay, so you can see that the name has been taken, but the problem is we are not able to see what exactly has been taken and has it been stored. So if we want to store it somewhere, we can define a variable and we can forward the input to that variable, and if we print that variable, then we can easily see what is the message that has been input. Similarly, this variable can be used in different operations also within the code. So now let's enter some name. Okay. Sorry for mistyping. Okay, so Royal, and now you can see the name has been printed also. So this is what we have learned today, and I think this is the first session, and this is the basic first code which you should be learning in Python. So this is your first code, and this you can learn.